Hey folks, I love Art Deco, and in this video I'm going to shine a light on the Art Deco of Coney Hall near West Wickham. I'm opposite the old rectory, and really this is where Coney Hall gets its name. The Coney Hall farm was first mentioned in the 17th century. Its lease stated that the tenant had sole rights to catch conies, rabbits, on nearby Jackson's Heath. This is the site of Coney Hall farm today. Listed in 1954, the listing shows it as the rectory. L-shaped 17th century house, red brick, 2-storey and attic, 4 windows and 1 gabled dormer facing southwest. 3 windows facing northwest, sashes with glazing bars intact and a tiled roof. Now this isn't the only listed building in the area, because not far from here on the other side of the common, which is behind me, is the Warren. So that has 3 listings for the house itself, the lodge and the gate piers and wall. So whilst that sets the scene for the original history, going back a couple of hundred years or more, along Gates Green Road a bit further, in amongst the whole Morrells development, and we'll hear more about the Morrells as we go through, there's what I would determine as classical Art Deco style properties. They've been developed over time. We don't have the original curved glass or cretal windows, but you can see just from the design features and the curved stonework, they're classic Art Deco. And that's the first example that we're going to see, but there's another couple of corkers as we go around the corner. Now, in terms of how this development all came about, Henry Leonard, who lived at Wickham Court, covered in a previous video, he owned all of this estate, and when he died it was sold for development, and Morrells came in and they built a number of houses here, around about 1,000, all different styles. And just walking up here from where I parked the car today, just at Kingsway, there are some absolutely wonderful examples of the different styles. In some ways they've got nods to the Edwardian period, but I think they kind of, for me, represent that changeover where you've got some of the Edwardian features going into the 1930s, and eventually that style was bedded in, I guess, in the 1930s semi. I've got a nice sign here, West Wickham Common. I've never really walked over this area very much, but I probably should. So it's the other side of this you can get to where the Warren is, because it's kind of off a fairly busy and narrow piece of road. I've noticed quite a few public footpath signs in between the houses and obviously as part of the common. So it's probably nice to work out a number of different trails and options where you can take in the architecture around here and obviously enjoy some greenery as well. I'll have to put a plan together for that. So we're in Croydon Road, and I've just noticed the curved brickwork on the property here, which is most certainly Art Deco, and actually the lovely rounded columns and the very flat concrete cover there, canopy over the door. So yes, there's been some enhancements to the properties over the years, but they are very much Art Deco in era. The estate was built from the early 30s, and actually there's a whole load over there, a little bit into the sun, but they've got that curved stone, probably all that's left actually from original features. And if you know the area, there's a little sneak peek in the far distance to one of the things that we're also going to feature. The shops came along probably a couple of years or so after the houses were built. I guess there was a pent-up demand, people saying, where are we going to go and buy our groceries and our newspapers and our fish and chips? And eventually their wishes were granted. Some nice styling there actually, the herringbone and the brickwork, mock Tudor style, but that timber frame gable is certainly sort of a feature that we've seen on many of the other houses around here. Yeah, some lovely detail along there. Interesting if you look from mock Tudor and the herringbone work all the way along. And then we have Kingsway Parade with the sign very clear at the top, 1936 Kingsway Parade. As you know, I always say look up. And then it ends with a lower section here on the end where we've got the co-op and a couple of other businesses there. So a real mixture just in this one parade. We'll have a little look down Kingsway and then onto the Wicks and Story. Just highlight this parade. So this is on Kingsway. Decorative gables, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 along, nice and symmetrical. Good old 1930s, but similar but not exactly the same as the one round the corner, so possibly built at a slightly different time. But this is the tale of two sides, because I'm now going to cross over. So if we look back on the other side, I think these are much newer. and I'm guessing the latest, the more recent of the shops to be built. If you know, let me know in the comments. Thank you. I'd like to thank Jonathan Moore, in particular, from the Coney Hall Village Residents Association. So he's done some articles on their website, and they've been really informative. And I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a screenshot to show some of them, but I'll put the links to the website down below in the description. So I really appreciate that, Jonathan. Thank you. There's some most fantastic work being done here. Now, you may know this as Wicks, and as it says on the sign, Wicks Trade and DIY, that's very much what it is. But it wasn't always the case. This was opened on the 11th of April 1935, and on the ground level here there was a petrol forecourt. The ground level of the building, once the van's gone, was a motor showroom, and above, on the first floor, we see the windows there, the windows wrapping round, that was a restaurant and cabaret area. And this building was described as a temple to the motor car. So after browsing and maybe choosing your car downstairs where we go into the store now, you could make your way upstairs, taking the spiral staircase, which I understand is decorated still to this day in Art Deco style. And there'll be a restaurant, American style cocktail bar, dining tables, and of course the light would have flooded in through those wonderful crystal windows, which I think may be still original. Down here on the left side of the ground floor, you can see it's all been bricked in. The windows would have wrapped around here as well originally, so you'd have had that light all the way round, and we got those concrete kind of ledges sticking out there, very much Art Deco style. It is a shame that that extension was put on, I'm guessing 70s perhaps. So yeah, there was a sprung maple dance floor, high class decor throughout. 250 guests could be accommodated each night. There were tea dances 3 days a week. Amazing setup. So even though the Morrells had committed a lot financially to developing all the housing in the area, they still found some cash to put into this. But sadly, they had overstretched themselves, because there was a meeting of creditors called for April 1937, and at that meeting, the company was put into liquidation. This was Morrell and Jenkins, but it was a connected business to Morrell Brothers, the main construction business. During the war, this still served as a petrol forecourt, so where I'm standing now, but it had a series of owners over the years and ended up being a DIY store that we see today. Now, one thing I'm just going to point out, if I can, because not a lot of people know, there's a pond behind here, and there's been a pond here for many, many years. We've got the danger deep water sign. Actually, probably very difficult to see there. It looks like it's dried up. I can't really get round there. It's sort of landlocked by houses, but it's on the map. So what will become of this building at 3840 Croydon Road? I'm a bit confused when I looked at the planning register and done some searching. There was a rather elaborate scheme involving a number of residences here, and also what looked to be some kind of restaurant or ice cream parlour on the ground floor. And they were going to take out the rather nasty 70s extension on the left side and make this symmetrical, to extend the plot. But I don't know where that is, because there's also a planning application in for some development from Wicks themselves, all in the fairly recent few years. So if anyone knows, please let me know. We might have to wait and see, but I don't believe this is listed. I think it might be locally listed at Bromley. It needs to be protected because it takes the eye. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful building, and I hope that it has a really secure future. Odd that in its grandest period it only lasted 2 years, but it still has that fascination. And as I say, inside it, I believe it's got lots of Art Deco features, but it's privately owned. If someone wants to invite me to pop in with the camera, I'd be delighted. But yeah, so this is 3840 Croydon Road. Once the Morrells car showroom and dining establishment, temple to the motor car, that survived just less than 2 years. Very sad. Croydon Road comes round, so we've got the Kingsway Parade shops straight ahead, comes round, that turns into Glebe Way, which goes up towards West Wickham, and here this is Croydon Road that goes out to Addington Road. And Addington Road sees the last feature in the video, something that has most certainly taken my eye for many, many years. I think it's a wonderful property. I can't help myself, but love that curved brickwork over the door entrances. And again, timber frame gable. These will have all been part of the houses that you could buy as featured in the catalogue of the time. Low slung roof there, and very much the Edwardian style, but porthole windows, that kind of thing. Also the same opposite, all part of the Morrells styling. Not sure if any other builders came in and just kept the style going. So, first little hint just through the trees, 77 Addington Road. It's Addington Road Health Centre. But I have to say, for me, this really is one of the best. Now, 3 years ago in open house, this was the temporary home of West Wickham Library that was being developed, and you were able to go in there and have a look around, not in every room. So I was able to get some images from inside this building. But how fantastic is that? Have a little look, and as we're looking, I'll tell you the story. Look at the chevron design on the windows up there. And that wavy line could have been seen by purists as controversial because it was all about clean lines, really. But a client may request it, or there might just be a decision taken, let's just put a wavy line in there, break it up a bit. And that's what happened. So in 1934, at the Daily Mail Ideal Home Exhibition, this was the home of the year. It was designed in the International Moderne style by renowned architects Leslie Kemp and Frederick Tasker. And this would have been, I suppose, constructed in a showcase area in the exhibition entitled The Village of Tomorrow. All of the houses are modernist style, flat roofed, plain walled, angular and curved corners, and there wasn't a mock Tudor detail to be seen. From this particular one, only 3 examples were ever built. This is known as the Olympia sun trap design. So there was this one in Herne Hill, and one in Dublin. Have a look at that detail right from the very top of the building there. Light flooding in through those beautiful windows. The lovely stone canopy wrapping round there. Takes the eye with you. Such a beautiful example. And as I say, it was nice to be able to get inside and have a proper look in the recent years. Very special. So I'm closing outside the favourite house here, 77 Addington Road. Another link in the description below is to the house in Herne Hill. But I hope you'll agree that I have saved the best till last. This is a wonderful example. The Wicks building comes close, but its history was really so long ago. It's been knocked about a bit since then. I just hope it's got a brighter future. So thanks for accompanying me while I shine a light on another part of my local area, but with particular focus on Art Deco, because I love it. If you like the video, please hit like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit subscribe. And if you'd like to lend me a bit of financial support for a small amount per month, please hit join. I'd really appreciate that. I'm going to say thanks again to Jonathan for the work on the website. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.